Hi crafters, I'm Sam from MakerFlo Crafts. Right now we're gonna work on a new mold. We're gonna do some alcohol ink. We're gonna pour it into this cool tray here. You're gonna see all the awesome effects that alcohol ink can do. It's a lot different from working with mica powders or even with pigment, like with the liquid pigment. This is a little bit different, so you'll see in just a moment.
All right guys, welcome to MakerFlo Crafts.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start by mixing our epoxy. We're using our Flopoxy, which is gonna be a 2-part epoxy, 1-to-1 ratio. I'll typically mix it for about 3 minutes. With this Flopoxy here, we've kind of estimated how much epoxy we're gonna need for this mold. We estimate it to be about 200 milliliters total. So we're gonna mix about 250 just to make sure we have enough. And then I've got an extra mold here for bookmarks. That way, if we do have epoxy, we don't waste it. That's extra. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on my gloves because you always wanna wear your protective wear when you're mixing your epoxy. I'm gonna grab my respirator too. I'm in a well-ventilated area, which is always important. But even if you are, you'll wanna use your respirator mask just to be safe. Okay, so I'm gonna start by pouring a little bit of my part A. I'm gonna do about 125 mils of each. With our epoxy, you'll notice it's pretty viscous, so just give it kind of a chance to level itself out to make sure you're not pouring too much or too little. All right, got that perfectly at 125 mils. Now I'm gonna add in my hardener. I wanna do about 125 mils of that as well, bringing me up to 250. All right, so I've got that all measured out, and then I'm gonna go ahead and mix it up for 3 minutes. Hey Siri, set a timer for 3 minutes.
3 minutes, counting down.
And when you're mixing your epoxy, always be sure to mix slowly and thoroughly instead of vigorously or quickly. When you stir it really fast, you're actually introducing a bunch of little micro bubbles that you don't need. So just take your time, really scrape the sides, make sure you're getting the bottom, get it all mixed together. You're gonna see it start getting a little bit cloudy. That's totally normal. That's just the epoxy mixing with itself, activating, doing its thing. It will start to clear out once you've thoroughly mixed everything together. You'll see that closer to the 3-minute mark. All right, it's been 3 minutes, and like I said, it's getting a lot clearer. You can see that it's not all cloudy anymore. So what we'll do is we'll pour this directly into our mold. With the alcohol ink, you don't need to pre-mix it with your epoxy, and the reason for that is once we pour this, we're gonna wanna get rid of all those bubbles. If you were to mix the alcohol ink in advance, it would light on fire because it's alcohol ink, so you don't wanna do that. So I'll go ahead and just pour it right into my mold. See how our guesstimates did here? Pretty good, looks like it's covered at least. So it looks like we got pretty close to guessing exactly how much we needed. We could have probably done about 50 mils more and gotten it all the way full, but this will work perfect for the experiment we want to show. So I'm just scraping to get as much out as I can. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and move that to the side for now. Since I'm using alcohol inks, I'm just gonna leave my gloves on for now. I don't wanna get it all over my hands. But I will take this torch and just pop any surface level bubbles I see, because again, you've gotta do that before you get into your alcohol inks. So you should start to see any bubbles on the top just kind of fade away. You don't need to hit it for very long with your torch because you don't want to burn your mold or get it stuck in there. I would recommend giving it just like a couple minutes to sit so that any other bubbles you see that aren't quite surface level yet have a chance to rise, so you can pop those too. So we're gonna give it about 2 minutes. We're gonna let those bubbles rise and then we'll pop them again. Okay, it's been 2 minutes. I did take off my mask because we've already mixed everything. We're in a very well ventilated area. So I'm just gonna leave this off so it's easier for you to see and hear me. But we're gonna go ahead and just run this blowtorch across it one more time. We just wanna get rid of, like I said, those little bubbles that like to rise up. And I'm glad we waited because I did see a few come up to the surface. Just gonna take care of those real quick. Awesome, looking much better. Okay, so that looks a lot better. So now what we're gonna wanna do with our alcohol ink is typically you wanna start with a color. I'm gonna pick this one right here. This is a nice kind of teal color. We'll start with just a few drops. You kind of wanna just spread out your color just like that. There's no wrong way or right way to do this. You'll already see that the colors start to kind of separate a little bit. So you see how they're already spreading out in there? That's what we want. You do want to shake these guys too right beforehand. I shook them a little earlier, so they should be good. I love that purple color. Look at how it spreads. We'll do some green. You want to try not to mix the colors together if you can. Try to put like a white layer in between if you're going to want to do colors on top. So I'll go ahead and move and put some white on here so I can throw some more colors in there. Here we go. And again, there's no wrong way to do this. The more fun you have with the colors, the more you add in there, the cooler it's gonna look. So really just kind of have fun with it, take your time. The only thing you wanna keep in mind is the work time. So basically you've got about 15 minutes of work time with Flopoxy. We used 2 minutes for it to set already, so technically we'd have about 13 minutes left. And see how when you drop the colors in the white, how it immediately starts making new colors for you? How cool that is. Do a little bit more green. Teal. And then I have lime green. Okay. I'm gonna do a little bit more white and then try to throw some more of that rose gold that I have in there to give it that metallic effect. All right, this This last one, I'm gonna try to put ink only where the white is, to really let it shine through. Awesome. And then you can either let it sit like that, because you'll see it's already started to kind of spread out on its own, or you can take a toothpick and you can start making designs. So for this one, I just want to make some fun little swirlies. So I'll just kind of go in here, swirl around, and I'm making a fun little pattern. You could get really creative with this too. Like you could put little pieces of like geodes or fun rocks in here. You could even do like a beachy theme and do shells. Whatever you want to do, you could mix that in as well, just to get a fun kind of scene set up on your mold. Getting the top by this handle too, I don't want it to be left out. And I kind of like the way I've got all these little swirlies in here, so I think I'll do more of that on the side. And if you wanted to, you could add a little bit more color, because we still have some work time with here. But I think that this is pretty good for me. Yeah, just like that, you've created a fun pattern, lots of unique swirls in there, and then it just gotta dry and it's done. Hi crafters, it's been about 24 hours, so let's check in on our alcohol ink mold. This tray already looks really cool. I'm just gonna kind of show you real quick. So that was the nice little spread of colors. It moved a little bit after we poured it, but not too much. Really like kind of the way it came out. Let's mold it and see, or demold it and see how it really is. Let's see. Ooh. I'm not seeing any bubbles in here. It looks really nice and smooth. Oh yeah. That came out just how I wanted it. And then you can use this for a display. You can use this for anything really. It is FDA compliant after it's fully cured. So you could even use this as a charcuterie board. Well, thanks so much for tuning in, crafters. I can't wait to join you on the next one.